PolitXPlain. Today with the topic North Korea.
As you know, today's topic is North Korea. The president of this country is a funny-looking guy, and you have probably seen him in a lot of memes. But that is not the only reason why I want to talk about North Korea today. In this video, I want to explain how this country isolated itself not only from Western influences but also from the rest of the world. I will present the historic step to this development and share with you some general information about North Korea. So let's start with some facts about the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Never mind the existence of South Korea, apparently. So, North Korea is located at the southeast end of China. It would take 15 to 16 hours on a direct flight from Berlin to North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. Except this isn't usually possible because you can only get there with multiple stops in Russia and China. On average, a trip like that would take more than 50 hours. Okay, now we're here. But what's going on in here? So, North Korea has a population of around about 25.4 million. And according to its constitution, North Korea is a socialist state. But in reality, experts refer to North Korea as more of a Stalinist dictatorship. Some also claim that North Korea is an actual akin to an absolute monarchy, much like the historic Japanese Empire. The current president of the country is Kim Jong-un, and in fact it's nearly impossible to talk about the country without talking about its president as well. So let's continue with a short summary of who the guy is, which will help you to understand where he and his country stand these days. So, Kim Jong-un is the youngest son of the former country leader Kim Jong-il. After his birth in 1984, he was raised in isolation, but he had a quite luxurious life. At the age of 7, he was sent to a private school near Bern, which is in Switzerland. This was his first interaction with the Western civilization, and he learned to love some Western hobbies as well, such as basketball. And later he even became friend with the former NBA player Dennis Rodman. Which is funny, because he's American, and this might not seem like such a big deal, but just keep it in mind for the rest of the video. When Kim Jong-un moved back to North Korea after more than 10 years abroad, he went to a military academy named after his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. And there he was trained to become the next head of state. That is not really democratic now, is it? So, fun fact. The North Korean people themselves had no idea who Kim Jong-un was until 2009, when his father announced that his youngest son would take over the leadership if he passed away. And then 2 years later, Kim Jong-il indeed died. His death was announced on December 19th, 2011, by an apparently very shaken TV speaker, just 48 hours after he actually passed away. As a result of the cult of personality that had been established prior, a whole nation mourned the loss of their ruler Kim Jong-il. As already declared by his father, Kim Jong-un succeeded him as the head of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Since then, memes of Kim Jong-un aren't the only thing the world has to deal with. We also have to deal with a powerful man who doesn't step back from getting rid of his enemies and opponents. He even gave command to kill his own uncle in 2013. All this is important especially to the USA, due to the history of the Korean peninsula. Korea as a whole is a former Japanese colony. When Japan lost World War II in August 1945, the Korean independence was declared. But this was just a formality. In fact, Korea was divided along latitude 38 between the USA and the Soviet Union. The US reorganized the political system in the South by controlling the country with a military administration. And 3 years after the end of World War II, they arranged elections so that the government could be handed over to the elected president, Syngman Rhee. Unlike the US, the Soviet Union decided to pull the strings in the background and established a Provisional People's Committee in North Korea. The permanent government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, led by President Kim Il-sung, was installed in September 1948. 2 years later, Kim Il-sung launched the attempt to take over South Korea. What a coincidence! The United States weren't very pleased with the ongoing incidents and encouraged the Security Council of the United Nations to intervene. No sooner said than done. The UN supported the South Korean people in reconquering their land and pushed back the North Korean armed forces to the Chinese borders. In fear of a South Korean or American takeover, China fought back until, after 9 months of war, the former border along latitude 38 was restored. Up until 1953, there still was a positional warfare. And, fun fact, to this day, no peace agreement has actually been established. The truce agreement in 1953 was signed by China, the US, and North Korea. South Korea never even signed it, even though they did accept it. So due to the historical conflicts, the relationship between North and South Korea, or respectively the USA, is, as you might know, tense. So, long story short, a powerful man justifies his problems with the West historically, despite having lived there himself. And this guy is ruling a country which is testing nuclear weapons as some sort of insurance policy against the US? Well played. Here's the BBC report on such a test in 2017.
North Korea claims it has successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, a device which can be loaded onto a long-range ballistic missile. There's no independent verification of that claim. South Korea and Japan say it was a nuclear test 10 times more powerful than the previous attempt by Pyongyang.
조선민주주의인민공화국 핵무기연구소 상명.
A jubilant newsreader on state TV announced that the bomb test had been a complete success. The device was of unprecedentedly large power, she said. The news came just hours after state media published this photograph of Kim Jong-un apparently inspecting such a device.
Discussing the conflict between North Korea and the rest of the world is difficult, because there actually isn't much information available about the actual situation in the country. Local media is controlled by the state, and people are not allowed to import artifacts of Western culture or technology, like smartphones, newspapers, or books. The North Korean people don't have as easy of an access to information about the rest of the world as you yourself might. And that's why the system of isolation works, or attempts to at least. Aside from the unlikely defector, we on the outside often don't really know what's happening in there. By now, you should have a decent, if shallow, grasp of North Korea and its leader, as well as a better understanding about what's playing into discussions of war and peace with them. Alright guys, that's it from us for this week. Subscribe and check out our other videos all about international affairs. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. See you!